So sorry after the last part was a bit too long. I just took a long time on the 100 coin star. But welcome back to Super Mario Star Road. Now last time I've been talking a lot about how the 100 coin star works and why some of it is a bit bad. By the way, I'm gonna try a speedrun trick here. You can kind of see what's gonna happen here. But I have no idea how to actually set it up. I've just seen it being done, and just seeing it being done is like nothing. Just gonna give it. You can. It's pretty obvious that you can get past this, but yeah, that's just what I wanted to show. So I've talked about what to do with 100 coin stars, and I'm still awaiting your comments. Well, obviously I am. By the time I upload like recordings, I haven't even uploaded a single video of the Let's Play. It's how the fuck were you supposed to answer me? Anyway, if I'm gonna start uploading these. By the way, after like the next few parts, I record it just so I have some parts that I can record and I can upload at once. And after that, if you leave some comments, obviously I can talk about them during some of my gameplay, because I think it's really nice to have some well, civilized discussion about game design and game philosophy. Though saying that on YouTube with YouTube comments, maybe not the easiest thing, but a man can hope, right? So what I wanted to talk about this time is I've mentioned it last time about the whole thing like video games versus movies and similar things. So this is something that you could go on for fucking ages and ages, and game design would not change around it because it just works in the wrong way. It's so sad. Anyway, by the way, this Bucky has gotten the right star. The thing is, games are not movies, but most AAA, like really pricey games, like also pricey to make games, are trying to be movies and pretty much are movies with some controls in them. It's so stupid. Now the big misconception that happens at this point is that people think, okay, if you want to have a story, you gotta have cutscenes. And if you have cutscenes, you have movies. So story equals movies. And the thing is, having the game like not being controllable anymore, while you are also just talking to characters, like the chat boxes, that might as well be a cutscene as well, because you don't have any control over it other than how fast it goes. But the thing is, with chat boxes, it's really hard to actually do something with them. By the way, this is another speedrun trick that I'm just gonna try once or twice. It's a bit stupid to get because you have to hit this with good speed at a really precise angle to get up there. Whoops, what happened there? You have to do another wall jump up there, but you can see it's really hard. And when you fall into that trap of saying, well, story equals cutscenes equals no controls equals movies, at that point you can already give up trying to make sure that every gamer actually gives a shit about the story. There's gonna be like, whenever you have games like this that have cutscenes, like way too many cutscenes instead of gameplay, you're gonna have people that'll be like, well, I don't give a shit about the story. And there's nothing you can do about that. There's really nothing you can do about that if you have too many cutscenes and movie-like things in your game. The thing is, when you play a game, what do you play a game for? Now, surely there's plenty of people that play a game for the story. But even if you do play the game for a story, you're still playing a game, aren't you? If you're playing a game for the stories, you're not watching a movie, you're still playing that game. So, what's there saying that the story couldn't be part of gameplay? Even if you're interested in only the story and not the gameplay, then what's saying that there couldn't be a story within gameplay? It's like, it only makes the game as a whole better. So why are people trying, game designers trying so hard to make it two different things? Probably because it's hard, really fucking hard, to do story within gameplay correctly, right? But with all the money and time, most importantly time, people are putting into making games nowadays, I don't see why we can't make sure that we can put some story into the gameplay. Now what do I mean with story in gameplay? For one, you could have story elements that happen during gameplay. One of the best examples for this is Bastion. In Bastion, you have like one cutscene at the very start of the game and one cutscene at the very end of the game. Absolutely everything else in the game, on the stages, all the story, well apart from some few chat boxes between characters, is done while you actually are going through the stages. You have the narrator talk to you during all of that, and that's really cool. You have the narrator talk to you and everything, and he conveys the story to you while you play, and it's context sensitive as well. If you do it, if you're like away for a little bit and then like have the game pause and then come back, the narrator goes, and then he comes back just like I knew he would. And it's so awesome that stuff like that happens, and you feel like, damn, I'm actually part of this. I'm not just some guy with a controller in my hand doing some weird shit and then meanwhile the story happens. No, I'm actually somehow part of this game, even though I'm just controlling a dude in it. Oh, a little shortcut there. Actually, it's not a shortcut. I should have come from the other side right away, but still. And you can do stuff like that more often. Obviously, also another trap you can easily fall into. It's just say, oh, so what I have to do is just put in a narrator? Oh, that's easy. No, please don't just randomly copy shit. Like, okay, you can copy shit, but please don't just randomly copy shit without knowing what you're actually doing. Please copy responsibly, while actually making sure everything is good. Like, make stuff good. That should be your prime objective. Your prime objective should not be to copy something. So that's a really nice example of how you can couple narrative with gameplay, and it's also a game where people care more about the story because it happens to them while they play the game, and that's so much more awesome. By the way, which stars are missing? Oh, this one up there, obviously. I'm not actually too far from being mostly done with the stage. Oh my god. Yeah, I knew that was gonna fail. Also death, so death takes you out of the stage anyway. Okay, also I was saying, oh yeah, Bastion story, game happens to you, and you're more invested into it because of that. And because the narrator is context sensitive, it also feels like you're actually having some part in the game. These jumps are way too fucking hard, by the way. These are some of the hardest jumps in the game. I don't know why these jumps are here, they're way too fucking hard. Oh my god, you see what is happening? I think it's because these things spin like that, you can't just line up something. Oh my god. These jumps, I swear. These jumps, I swear, are just so stupid. Anyway, it's hard to actually concentrate about what I want to say when this is going on. It might actually be the hardest jumps in the game, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. At least that's done now, so we can put that behind us. Hardest jumps in the game, done. Fucking hate that part. Yeah, that part is badly designed. These jumps are already way too precise. Well, not way too precise, but they're already pretty precise. And adding the thing to it that makes them spin as well, while there's a death plane below it, it's just way too stupid. Anyway. So what are some of the ways to not do it? How can you absolutely fail horribly at storytelling? Well, in order to fail at storytelling, what you need to do is you need to make an experience where whatever you're playing has pretty much nothing to do with the story, like the way it feels, and at the same time Oh my god, these are actually the worst red blues coins in the game. Actually, by the way, I absolutely hate this stage, just saying. And every bit of the story comes from the I guess these are the hardest red blue coins in the game. Because you have to just barely touch them on the side like that. Oh my god. I don't know why these red blue coins are so ridiculously stupid. That was so close. Anyway. So you have to... Sometimes it's just hard for me to talk when almost so much stuff is going on. I can't get the thing anymore. Take a deep breath and focus. Okay, so... A game that has story only in cutscenes, where the gameplay doesn't really line up with the story. You can probably think about something as well, but... Do you remember playing a game where you were like... The story and what I'm doing doesn't make like no sense. Like in the game, like in the... Oh yeah, good example, Metroid Other M. When you're playing the game, or any Metroid, you're this badass motherfucker who don't give a shit about anything and absolutely wrecks the absolute faces of everything. I'm gonna get that later, by the way, I don't want to jump off right now. I need to stay on this for a really long time. And... It always feels like, man, I'm really alone in this. I'm really alone in this entire world, this big world that I'm alone in. But I'm still absolutely destroying everything in it. And it feels like I really am playing, not just playing, but I am this badass. And then Metroid Other M happened, and it made absolutely no sense whatsoever. So. Like I just described, in the actual game you're like such a cool badass who is like, despite being alone in this hostile world with all these big alien creatures, even in Metroid Other M, you just completely butt blast them using crazy ass like daredevil moves. There's even like finisher moves where you jump into them and like blast them by shooting directly into their face, not just their face, into their mouth as well. Absolutely daredevil stuff. And then you have cutscenes where she fucking cries about her father figure. What the fuck? Like, are you actually serious? Are you actually serious, Metroid Other M? It's doing shit like that. We have the most badass fucking bounty hunter in the entire galaxy, and you're telling me that like some random dude she has like father complex for, and because of that she like has to have mental breakdowns also by seeing Ridley, which she had fought at that point like 3 times at least in the timeline at that point. So she's fought against this guy like 3 times, but seeing him like the 4th time is like, oh shit, time to have a mental breakdown after I've like killed 10,000 other guys. What? Oh, you need to get this. Actually, I don't need to get this, I can wait for this. Oh my god, it just makes absolutely no sense. You have so many cutscenes that try to tell you that Samus, for some reason, is like this whiny little bitch who has this like father complex and has mental breakdowns every now and then. And then a second later, you go back into the gameplay and rip like an alien's throat out. Like, what? Rip this guy's throat out and like shoot him and like, what the fuck is actually going on? How can this actually be happening? How can someone say, okay, the story is gonna be you're playing a stupid idiot, but when you're actually playing the game, you're not a stupid idiot, you're actually a badass. That, okay, but I've harped on it for quite a long time now, like the past 5 minutes or something. But holy shit if it's not true. I can't believe that just happened. That was close. And it just pisses so many people off. And if you've played Metroid Other M yourself and you're wondering why people hate Metroid Other M so much, then you haven't actually paid attention to the cutscene and the stories, because holy shit is it bad. So now I've got an example for how to do gameplay and story good, in a good way, and how to do it in a really, really bad way. And using that, maybe you can learn something, I guess, from that. Though most games like Super Mario 64, they don't really give a shit about story, because they realize that Super Mario is not a game about story. It never has been. It doesn't require a story. It's all about the gameplay. So they don't even at least they don't even try to have like the super serious stories with deep and complex characters with serious issues. They're just like, guys, we know you want to just run around some stages, so here's just some stages run around, and that's fine as well. But if you put like focus on the story like Metro Other M did, then you can't just excuse yourself by making it so incredibly bad. Oh wow. I couldn't jump there for a second, I don't know why, I lost input. You get down there. By the way, there's a coin thing down here, but it's actually a bit hard to get. Not hard to get, but hard to get back from it. So, let's see. Yeah, this is a bit stupid. I don't know why they made it so hard. Nope, I can't be diving. Just barely, oh my god. It's intended to come back from that, like there's no way you should be dying from it, but still, holy shit. So, but those are just two examples that I've mentioned now. There's still a lot more that I could talk about this. So, now that's just like the basis about what I actually mean. This I'm gonna do it. I couldn't do it. Stomp attack, whatever. Stomp attacks are hard. So I've given some examples on the basis of what I actually mean when I talk about this like story and gameplay thing. And there's also some other aspects where you can understand like the story via gameplay, not just have someone talk to you. I'm gonna name another example for that. I'm gonna go a little bit into this next time as well. On how to also tell story via gameplay and not just while gameplay happens. So stay tuned for that next time. And we delve deeper into one of the biggest problems of the gaming community, and it continues to be one of the biggest problems, if not the biggest problem of the gaming industry. Like when it actually comes to like game design problems, not just game industry problems. That's a lot other stuff actually. So yeah, tune in for that next time.